What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Mosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official. Make sure you leave a subscribe when you're there. It helps us out immensely. We're also across your fast channel TVs like Rad TV, television networks with Amazon Prime, JC Sports TV, ESTV, and a whole lot more. But maybe, just maybe, you want the audio side. Well, thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network, you can get us across all 212 of their platforms over there. Scott, we talked about two topics on today's show because why? They are huge right now. Why don't you tell us about them? What are we talking about?
That's right. We're going to go through the future of PlayStation's live service and their plans into that endeavor. And Warner Brothers' biggest titles are supposed to be all live service moving forward. That seems to be the intention. And, well, these are big topics because they're big for the future of our game industry at large.
Absolutely. Scott, before we get there, dude, I had an experience the other day. I'm in Red Dead. I'm online like I always am lately. It seems like, man, oh man. Working away on my challenges, right? My son pulls me away. Yeah, he's asking for some help, so I go give him a hand. And as my horse, I'm sitting on my horse. I'm just chilling. And there comes another player. And you never quite know when it comes to Red Dead what kind of experience you're going to get. Sometimes they just go right on by. Other times, like this one, they circle back. Dude, I see him pull out the lasso. He's flicking it around. I'm like, I'm out of here. There are train tracks just in my sights. I go barreling past the train. Dude, it's like a movie, right? I just beat out the train. I'm like, I'm free. Dude, to my demise, there was a cliff on the other side, and I went straight down that cliff. I was like, I got away, but then I didn't get away because I died. I committed suicide instead of just dying to them. I was like, man, well, that's the way it goes, doesn't it?
A bit of a Wile E. Coyote.
Absolutely. Yo, dude, let's talk about it, though. PlayStation live service. Looks like they're backtracking. Scott, we've always questioned what's going on with Sony and all these live service games, well, it seems like they are too. Sony commits to launch just 6 of the PlayStation's 12 live service games by March 2026. The other 6 are up in the air. Wesley Yimpool over at IGN. Sony president Hiroki Totoki has said that the company is reviewing PlayStation's live service games push amid development trouble that has already seen Naughty Dog, The Last of Us multiplayer, get hit with setbacks. Totoki said in a financial call that Sony is reviewing the 12 live service PlayStation games it has in the works and committed to launching only 6 of them by the end of the fiscal year of 2025, meaning by the end of March 2026. Totoki said Sony is still working on when the other 6 live service games will come out, adding, quote, "It's not that we stick to certain titles, but for the gamers, quality should be the most important," end quote. I do like that statement. Hiroki Totoki's statement continues, quote, "We are reviewing this. So the titles, we have not been able to meet the gamers' expectations, but we are trying as much as possible that this would be played by the gamers and liked by gamers for a long time. So the 12 titles, ... So 6 titles will be released by fiscal year 25. That's our current plan. And the remaining 6 titles, as for when to be released, we are still working on that. And the live service games and multiplayer titles, that's the total of that. So in mid to long term, we want, dude, I'm just translating what is here, right? Like this is broken
this
English.
Is a quote, yeah.
Yeah. We want to enlarge this kind of service, and that's the unchanged policy for our company. It's not that we stick to certain titles, but for the gamers' quality should be the most important. That's how I feel about it, end quote. Sony announced plans in February of 2022 to launch more than 10 live service games by March 2026, later saying the push would bring games to different genres to different audiences. It spent big on studio buyouts as part of the drive, bringing in Destiny developer Bungie, Jade Raymond's Haven Studios, and Firewalk Studios. Sony worked with Bungie, which has live service expertise with the Destiny series, to assess its portfolio and reportedly scaled some live service projects back as a result. One of those projects is obviously The Last of Us multiplayer, which hurts us all, which is still MIA. Its game director said he was still working on the game earlier in November. However, sparking fresh hope it may eventually come out. What else do we know about PlayStation's live service push? Well, Bungie is working on Marathon, a PvP-focused sci-fi extraction shooter. Haven Studios is working on Fair Games, a competitive heist game about robbing the ultra-rich. And Firewalk Studios is working on Concord, another sci-fi PvP multiplayer game. There's also a Horizon multiplayer game from Guerrilla. Dude, please bring that over. I cannot wait to see what that is. And a co-op action game from PlayStation's London studio. PlayStation studio boss Herman Holst admitted in May Sony faces fierce competition between live service games and the time investment they take from players. Quote, there is a risk that we talk about live service in generic terms as if it's a single genre or even a single business model, end quote, he said. Quote, PlayStation Studios are making a variety of games that could be referred to as a live service, targeting different genres, different release schedules at different scales. We are also creating games for different audiences, and I take confidence that our track record in creating worlds and stories that PlayStation fans love. The priority for each studio is to deliver their own project to make the best game that they can, end quote. PlayStation's live service trouble comes amid something of a shakeup within Sony Interactive Entertainment. Bungie has suffered a devastating round of layoffs, blamed on declining Destiny engagement. And Dreams and Little Big Planet developer Media Molecule has also suffered layoffs. PlayStation's boss Jim Ryan is also set to retire next spring. Still, Insomniac's recently released single-player adventure Spider-Man 2 is seen as a big success, and PlayStation 5 is dominating its console's rival Xbox Series X and S in terms of sales. I noticed this morning, as of today, I believe Spider-Man 2, 11 days in, has sold 5 million units. Scott.
That's a wicked high number. Woo! And I wish I was among that number of people enjoying that game to this day. But I will at one point. That's the beautiful thing about single player first person or third person games, where you're able to check in on it years later and it's still just as good as you left off.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is in contrast to the live service that we're seeing PlayStation really try to lean into. And that's a change of identity for me. When I think of PlayStation, I think of the action adventure games, the third person single player experiences. I don't think of endless online matches or a constant grind, a daily challenge. That kind of thing doesn't come to mind. And I'm looking at this decision they're coming to, and I think they're starting to hit the brakes, because they're realizing, even if understandably, they kind of Hiroki Totoki is kind of acknowledging that, well, these aren't games for everybody. Not all of them.
No.
Each of them are trying to hit a different target audience. But even at that, I think, well, even if best case scenario, these are all really successful, good games, does anybody have time to play all of them? 2 of them, 3 of them, if they're all incredibly successful? I think it was destined for failure before we got this far into the process.
It's definitely questionable when they said they're coming out with 10. We're like, whoa, are you kidding? Like,
it's a lot.
Well, it's just, are you just gonna grab everything and throw it at the board and see what sticks? And that's where we are like, man, how much time do you have? Because I know I don't have time to play 10. Like, that was supposed to come in the next 3 years. 10 games in 3 years. Dude, as it is, they're still going with 6 games. Now, again, it's going to be different genres, so different strokes for different folks, right? I can appreciate that. So they're looking to take a piece of the pie from first person, third person, maybe some kind of like MOBA situation, right? Maybe they're trying to just have their hands in all the pie to see which one kind of really does pull gamers in. Destiny, we're starting to see the fall of Destiny, aren't we? Like, we're starting to see Bungie layoffs are hit. Why? Because people aren't sticking around with the game. Why? Because people are bored. People are looking for what's new, what's fresh. When you're there day in, day out, dude, it is hard to stick around for something like that, right? Where it just gets repetitive over and over. When you back it up, though, you go to Spider-Man, dude, that's a single player story from point A to point B. How you get there in between is going to differ for everybody somewhat, but at the same time, there is an objective goal that you will accomplish and then be able to put it away. A lot of people still posting up their platinums. Very exciting to see, right? Hats off to Insomniac for crushing yet another Spider-Man game. it is interesting that it still goes, when you think of Sony, it's single player content. It is the world's, right? Herman's right. They built some of the most incredible experiences in the in the single player worlds with Horizon, God of War, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted, right? The Last of Us. Dude, the list goes on and on and on, and it's still outselling the Xbox. But now they're trying to play catch up. Dude, we had the rise. The rise of games of service has peaked, and it's coming down. Not everything is going to stick around. And if we get that far, dude, we'll talk about how Overwatch is now dead as well, right? There's games that are starting to fall off. Multiplayer can only go so long if you're not producing new and fresh content to excite and surprise the player base. And that's where you're starting to see Destiny get into trouble. And I'm not even a Destiny player. I'm just looking from the outside. So if you are a Destiny player, I would love to hear your feedback. Hit me up, Artistic Gamer 28 over on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you're calling that thing. And then just let me know, like, how do you feel about Destiny right now? Because people were playing it, and I know I have friends who've been playing it for years, and they're just like, I'm out. And now for somebody new like myself, or returning, I would say, because I beat 1, I beat 2, but then I never stuck around for all the DLC that just kept coming. But that's their live service model, right? And that works. And then they come in with Naughty Dog and go, their service isn't going to work, man. Like, I'm really questioning what they had. What happened to the days, dude, where we just got a team deathmatch mode in some multiplayer, right? Hang out with your friends, have a good time. Now it's, how do we keep the players engaged for every day? How do we make them come back tomorrow and stick around?
It's every day. Every game is competing for every hour that I have, and I'm getting very tired of it. I really like having those situations where you can play a game, finish it, and put it down. And it was a complete finished package. I think that's what Destiny is coming to specifically.
Yeah.
Where their story is wrapping up, and now it seems like a good place to kind of end it. But I have a feeling it's not going to end there, and it's just going to be dragged out.
Dude, I love the fact that I finished Spider-Man. Right? I can put that up on my wall and say, hey, check mark, done. You know, I just wrapped up The Invincible, wrapped up Hogwarts Legacy. I've wrapped up a lot of single player stuff this year, and it's felt fantastic. And then there's certain games I still dive into. Red Dead Online, GTA Online. I go in there. Siege is another one, right? But even Siege, after 1,500 hours, I'm like, I'm out. I'll play a round or two, a match or two. But then I'm like, okay, that's enough for me. I'm back into PUBG right now. But again, it's like I'm picking, but I'm bouncing in and then bouncing out quickly. I'm not sticking around for hours on end. And that's what Destiny wants you to do. And that's what these live service games are expecting of us as players, as gamers, to get in there and be there. Okay, I got daily challenges. Dude, you get into Red Dead Online, there's 19 daily challenges. You know how many hours that will take? I'm over there hunting like wildlife for crips, and I'm just like, dude, I can only get to so many carcasses right now. I got other things to do, and I'm gonna dip and I'm gonna go play a single player experience because I know at the end of the day I can wrap up that goal. So I don't know, live service, man. It's funny how PlayStation now starting to suddenly pedal backwards a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Scott, speaking of live service, apparently Warner Brothers hasn't learned anything about this at all. Warner Brothers says it's focused on transforming its biggest franchises into live service games. Jordan Miller over VGC. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav has said the company is focused on turning its biggest gaming franchises into live service games. Speaking during the company's latest earnings call, Zaslav discussed plans to transform franchises like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC, which is mainly Batman today, and Mortal Kombat. Which
curious.
He sees as individual billion-dollar gaming franchises into service games. Oh man. Quote, our focus is on transforming our biggest franchises from largely console and PC based with 3-4 year release schedules into more always on gameplay through live service, multi-platform and free-to-play extensions, with the goal to have more players spending more time on more platforms, end quote. Zaslav said, quote, ultimately, we want to drive engagement and monetization of longer cycles and at higher levels. We have specific capabilities. We are currently under scale and see significant opportunity to generate greater post-purchase revenue. End quote. Dude, it's all about the dollars and doesn't give a crap about us as players. Warner Brothers has had a successful 2023 with significant releases such as Harry Potter RPG and Hogwarts Legacy. Dude, one of the biggest games of this year was Hogwarts Legacy. Why would you want to destroy that by putting it into a games as service model?
Yeah, the idea of changing any bit of that to change the result seems foolish, because the result was that it was a social phenomenon.
Yeah, like it's sold, and it's sold incredibly well. The title was comfortably Europe's best-selling game in the first half of 2023, selling over 12 million copies in the first 2 weeks, dude. Following its PS5 and Xbox Series X and S and PC release on February 10th. Man, it was released for PS4 and Xbox One on May 5th, at which point Warner announced that the game has topped $1 billion in retail sales and sold over 15 million copies. Why screw that up and toss it into live service? Dude, I got goosebumps. I am getting mad. I saw the internet just explode yesterday when they posted this. I'm like, this is somebody at the top who just wants to put his hand out and keep getting money fed to him instead of letting us experience a good game.
It doesn't seem like a very respectful idea going on in these conversations with these people. That behind closed doors, it appears to me that these companies are viewing us less of a customer and more of a battery. Yeah.
Last month, it also released Mortal Kombat 1, which enjoyed a strong critical reception and has sold almost 3 million copies, according to Zaslav. Dude, how do you turn Mortal Kombat into a games as service model?
Yeah, you take all the characters out and drip feed it to us.
Well, that's exactly what they've done. Dude, they have done that. Here's what's going on in Mortal Kombat 1, because I'm still there. I'm still playing. At this point, I'm like almost 48 hours in or something like this.
Beloved series.
I love Mortal Kombat. Grew up on it. Dude, we were just at an arcade on the weekend with my son. It's for his birthday. And they had Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 4 there. And yo, we played. Dude, it was, I'm like, yo, this is a trip down memory lane. And it was awesome. But here we go. Mortal Kombat 1 does well. Now you want to drip feed us characters. We get a character pack coming, right? We get Omni-Man coming today. I want to say he's today. He's dropping today.
Ooh.
The last time we had Mortal Kombat 11, you got a character fighter pack. Now we get they've stretched this out. You buy in, you get one character every so often, every few months over the course of the next year. 6 characters total, 6 new fighters over the course of a year. Dude, those 6 characters used to drop in a pack.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, it's
what is going on? They have invasion mode so that you can come in each day and battle your way through, get cosmetics, and I've done a lot of that. Granted, at the end of the day, it's okay. I'm about to take my Baraka online and go to that next step because I built enough confidence, which was funny because part of me hates the invasion mode, part of me likes the invasion mode. Invasion mode lets you go in there and learn your skills, this, that, and the other. But what happens is that you get all these like mystical things that come at you too. So a fireball will just show up out of nowhere. Like when you're online fighting, you just fight your opponent, right? So not only have they added in cameos that can really surprise you, but all of a sudden now you get this like pink orb that comes down and slows you down, or you get ice that's shot out of nowhere. Like I'm like, man, get that out of there. I just want to fight this person. But either way,
it's getting wacky and creative in ways to kind of hold you there, which is something they're going to have to scratch at, these wacky creative ideas to turn something like that into a live service, which does not do anything for the product itself.
There is a battle pass, so that invasion mode or going online gets you in-game currency. That currency then can be rewarded by going into the battle pass and buying certain things. Dude, I was in there. I got stuff for Scorpion. I got stuff for Sub-Zero, Liu Kang. Like all right, I got to go grind 6,000 of these currency things to get in there so I can get this outfit. It's kind of cool at the end of the day, but a games of service, like how much further do you take Mortal Kombat in that? Okay,
yeah.
Like, dude, there are daily challenges in there. There's a weekly challenge in there. It is already set up that way. They're already looking at Mortal Kombat for this games of service model, and it is there. And I was like, okay, do so many uppercuts, do so many fatalities, use your cameo so often. It's all step by step by step. I was just like, man, this is where they're going with this. We'll see how long it lasts. Because that after 48 hours, I'm starting to burn out. But dude, we're about to get into a new season now. So as I'm burning out, you're gonna introduce me to new stuff. Crap, I might be back in now, right? Like, so I'm like,
well, there is a
working.
model. There is a model that works, but I'm afraid that it goes a little too far. And I'm also concerned that this is a kind of a band-aid on a situation that's much larger. We deal with first day one patches was step one. You know, now we're used to, if a game works on day one, everybody is cheering and excited, even though that's really how it should be no matter what.
Payday 3.
I'm worried. Oh, we're going to talk a lot about Payday 3 this week, so we should hold that one in. But the idea, I think that it's, if you call it a live service, it makes it a little bit more acceptable when your game doesn't work straight out of the gate because, well, it's under development. It's in early access. It's however you choose to dress that up is not addressing the problem. It is merely dressing up the problem.
Dude, Suicide Squad.
Oh,
right? Like this is where Warner Brothers is going. Suicide Squad. Nobody wants that game. Nobody
dead on arrival.
Thought that game looked good. Dude, I've seen enough of it just in previews and just trailers. I'm like, this is not what I want. Nobody wants this thing. And I feel bad for Rocksteady, who worked so hard to get this thing to a level, which then they've had to delay because the feedback was, this looks boring. Right? Like Suicide Squad, nobody cares about any of these characters. I don't care. DC's already a struggle for me personally because I'm much more of a Marvel fan. So for you to hook me in, yo, I'll be all in on Batman, but the rest of them, I don't care. I really don't care. So now I'm struggling here for Suicide Squad, and I was hoping they have something else, something fresh, something new, but no, they had to stick with DC. I was like, man, not what I wanted to see, right?
Interesting idea, though. Why is it that you stick with Batman? Because of very good, strong single-player experience that broke that ice?
Yeah.
Not a live service game that got you hooked.
Hogwarts 2, Scott. Live service? Or are we just going to get a sequel? Because all I want, dude, after wrapping that game up, what an amazing experience. I want a sequel. I do not want a live service experience.
Yeah, I just want a sequel, and if you want to give me a seasonal update in the holiday season, sure. But beyond that, I just want the single experience.
Warner Brothers right now in some troubled waters with fans, without a doubt. Scott, there's a long list of games, dude. There's so many, we even had to leave some off. But here's a couple highlights. What do we have today?
That's right, we have 9 Years of Shadow, now on the Nintendo Switch. Spells and Secrets on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch. While the Iron's Hot is on PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and the Switch. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name is on PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S. Berserk Recharged is on PC, the Atari VCS, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S. Sanabi is on PC and Nintendo Switch. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn is PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S. And What the Duck is on PC and Switch.
And there you go. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day, Monday to Friday. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
We'll see you inside the game.